First platoon, PzL. Attention. PzL. Ready. Aim. Fire. Fire.
So hello, Second Lieutenant Patson and Crupwell Yavana.
Hello there.
Hi.
So how long did you guys train for the scrim?
We trained for the scrim for a good 2 months. We had around 8 weeks of training. So that corresponds to around 8 company drills, 8 platoon drills, and each squad had 8 squad drills. So we had a long time to prepare.
What part of the scrim for you was toughest to practice?
Definitely the approach. I was confident in our CQB skills. It was just Puto is a hard town to attack. You've got the choke point in the south with the railway, and to the west is just open fields. So for me, the hardest part was getting our guys into the town, but once there I was confident we'd secure victory.
Yeah, I think the approach was the hardest part by far, because I had to, as a platoon sniper, I had to find the best suitable places I could attack the town. There's lots of different possibilities there.
That is a hard map to tackle. So coming up to the scrim, what were your expectations?
100% victory, nothing less. I think you've got to be confident going into an inter-unit scrim, and I was fully confident. We had a long time to train. And although I was a bit nervous, I expected nothing less than victory, to be honest.
Yeah, I also believed in the perfect victory.
So from your point of view, which round was the hardest?
Definitely the attack. First round we suffered no losses. They tried to surround us, they moved in from multiple sides, but they relied too much on the factor that they'd surrounded us, and although they did surround us, it didn't really mean much to us. I mean, we had a 360 defence, we had solid buildings, whereas they were running through open fields, and they were just decimated. It just goes to show you can't rely on flanking and suppressive fire alone. You need to have the good approach route to keep you concealed to the last minute. So yeah, the second round was definitely the hardest, just because of the approach. It was once we were into the town, I was confident we'd win. It was just finding those routes that let us get to the town without being seen as quickly as possible as well.
I agree with the second lieutenant that the attacking round was the hardest one. On the defensive round, I was mostly stationed in the silo tower and that surrounding area, and I only saw 2 enemy soldiers on that round, so it was pretty easy for me.
Were you nervous before the start of each round?
A little bit. Believe it or not, after the defence went so well, it actually made me more nervous, because we had killed their entire unit without suffering a single loss, without them even managing to secure an objective. So at that point I was thinking, wow, if it was that easy for us, will it be easy for them too? And I was quite nervous how our attack would go.
Hello, Corporal Egeland and PFC Saunders Priya.
Hello, PFC Pike.
What approach did you take for the scrim?
S1 attacked straight from the south of the town. We went up to Gilmet's farm and Packhead farm. We basically didn't take any detours. We drove straight up to the train tracks and ditched the half tracks there. Drove up as quick as we could.
I've got something to add. 3 of us went to the Packhead farm. About 6 or 7 of us went to Gilmet's farm. I was actually driving us to the point where we dropped off, and as everyone dropped off, they had to go to the right of the half track, and I did a U-turn by turning the half track to the left, so I had to make sure I ran nobody over. Once I did that, there were still 1 or 2 people left. They were in the covering team, and I dropped them off. Then I had to drive the half track back again behind some bushes and turn the engine off. After that, I went and joined the rest of the attacking team, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I was the point man.
Was that approach difficult to master?
Well, we went through a lot of different approaches before. We practiced it for a long time. I don't remember how long we practiced the entire scrim for, but no, yeah, we settled for this one because that was the one we figured we would take the least casualties from, and yeah, it was not too hard to master. We did some funky techniques with jumping over signs, but generally it wasn't too hard for people to get to know the objective.
Anything to add, Saunders?
The sign we had to jump over it wasn't too difficult, but there was the ledge that we had to jump onto once we were on the sign, and sometimes when we were practicing, people used to fall over that ledge and get stuck there. So we had to make sure that didn't happen during the scrim.
Did it work out in the scrim?
Yeah, everybody made it up on there, and then over on the right side of the ledge. It was good.
Hello, gentlemen. Very well done on scrim. How did your training go for the scrim?
Training was, to be honest, in my opinion, difficult because our plan was constantly changing. S2 originally was going to attack Cachette, and then we did that for a couple of weeks. Then it suddenly changed to the north, and then it changed from the north to attacking from Church. So unlike S3 and S1, S2 was kind of the squad that never really had a permanent place until a couple of weeks before the scrim. And then it was we had a lot of training to do on that approach. And I remember 2 weeks before, we were still doing pretty basic stuff. And then a week before, we'd only really just assigned all of the roles. Now, that's not to say S2 wasn't prepared. Obviously, we've got to go through it all to make sure that everybody knows everyone's position so people can fill in. But it just shows you how time pressured we were that, a week before, we'd only just assigned the final roles for everyone. So training was tough. It's a hard approach. There's no easy approach into the town. S2 probably had the easiest of all three, but it was still tough. Training was tough, yeah, and a lot of lessons were learned in training as well.
Okay, fantastic. Did any of your squad get injured during any of the rounds?
Yeah, in the first round and second round, PFC Rogers took a hit. In the first round, he dropped down to 1 HP at the end of the round. He was defending Cachette. They smoked the choke point, ran in, and I think he took a hit from a Car 98, and that hit him down to like 1 HP. Second round, I think he took a shot entering the Red Roof Crossroads building, and that hit him down to like 56 HP. Bond, do you know any other
Not that
people who
didn't
took a hit?
die, but yeah.
No, yeah. A couple of people took some hits, but obviously they ended up dying as well.
Okay. Were you nervous leading up to the scrim?
I'm going to let Bond answer this one first.
Thank you. I kind of was, because I hadn't been there for a big part of the training drills. But then again, as soon as we started, I knew where I was going, and it went smooth because S3 did their part as well.
Well, everyone did their part.
But
carry on.
Our approach was more reliant on S3, as you said before. So we really needed them to do their part.
Yeah, and I was nervous. I joined the 901st's pub server twice within a couple of weeks before leading up, and I'm not gonna lie, from it I could see they were very good at range. Sometimes I'd get shot and I think, oh, it's a 901st guy, and I was like, oh right, okay, we're fighting against those, and it, you got to appreciate that they have a lot of skill, and I was really surprised at how well the actual scrim went, because every approach is really hard to get into a town. So yeah, I was nervous. However, I didn't let it show. I let my squad know that we were going to win.
So, to start off, what approach did your squad take during the scrim?
Squad 3 had the northern approach. We went all the way across the map with the half tracks on the west side to come in near the Bradfield Road area, which is just north of the crossroads, which was our initial objective. But yeah, from there we pushed further south into town.
Well, that was the main approach of Squad 3. Me and actually PFC Maloney, we were dropped west, somewhere on the west approach, and we moved in. Me and PFC Maloney, we were like a diversion to pin down a bit, like the Cachette area. That was on the attacking round, obviously.
Like a covering squad or something?
Yeah, we were like a diversion for pretty much, well, trying to get like Cachette eyes on us instead of on the other squads coming in from the north and the east.
Okay. And was that a hard approach to take during training, and what about in the scrim?
Well, in the training, to be honest, it felt almost impossible. The opposition in the training was really hard. Mostly was either a squad from our own platoon or BP2. And it was really hard, but I don't think we managed to win a single round on trainings, maybe one. So what we expected in the scrim was obviously the same, but it was a complete opposite. We barely met any resistance. I was in the half track with myself, trying to support, shooting a few rounds in the windows, but the squad almost moved in without any trouble into the first buildings, which was a cafe. And from there it went pretty smooth. We took some losses along the road, but nothing compared to what we did in training.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much what the Corporal here said, because on the training, like, the defending squads would know exactly what route we were taking and exactly where we were coming from most of the time, especially in platoon drills, seeing how we were like a pretty small squad attacking another squad, and they just knew exactly where we were coming from. So on the scrim, we were thinking like, yeah, if this is gonna go the way on training, we're gonna have a hard time. But then at the actual scrim, we didn't have that much opposition because they really didn't know where we were coming from.
What were your expectations for the scrim?
Well, my expectations were that it was gonna be really hard because of all the training that we had and how hard it was in the training. We had the feeling that the town was almost impossible to attack. We were pretty confident in the defense ourselves. But yeah, because of the attack, how hard it was in the training, we thought we were gonna have a hard time. So I didn't expect it was so easy, of course. So yeah, my expectation was that it was gonna be very hard.
Yeah, pretty much same for me. I thought it was gonna be super hard, to be honest, in the attack. We knew the defense was gonna go well. We knew the defense was going to go rather well before we went into the scrim, because we really knew what we were doing, and on the training it always worked out, the defense, which was just the attack that was really hard, and that really got, like, we got a lot of casualties in training sometimes, where only maybe one or two get close to the crossroad. But then yeah, when the actual scrim started and our defense went so well, I really thought that the attack was gonna, well, go as it went.
Okay, that's all the questions we had, so thanks for your time.